Simply, you don't use money, you don't need credit card, you don't need all that. You just share the resources.
So we're going back to
So who will be
medieval
angry?
time. Huh?
Who will be angry?
Who will be angry?
Capitalists.
Right. People who.
And capitalists are controlling the economy of the world. You can do in one village and all that lah. Don't play. It's not an easy thing.
But do you think there is potential for us to
the future, yeah.
move into that direction?
Because in the by-relation, they said,
What is it? What did they mention?
distribution of the resources, not controlling and exploiting the resources for money. So the future people slowly will no more money, because it's the money which is causing all the problem.
Right.
For example, you make a technology and you sell 100 times the price.
Okay.
So if you want to go in this resource space as like the Venus project they got it, see, you are fighting against.
What is the Venus project?
It's a project like they did on research.
I want to get his opinion.
They're experimenting like this kind of in some places and all that to see whether it is applicable or not. Because why? The whole world is affected by capitalism now and money driven. See? So the communists were against this. I'm talking the original communists, no.
Okay.
Karl Marx. Because they said the wealth must belong to the state,
Right.
not to individuals or companies.
Right.
So all the money, according to Marx economy, belong to the state and is distributed to the people.
Right.
So no individual ownership.
So the initial ideology of communism was actually very noble.
Yes, initially that's what, now changed it.
Now the state holds all the money.
Communist fellas country, their leaders making more money.
Right.
By right they cannot. It's all state owned. Okay, wait. So when Marx started this theory, the situation was the money was controlled by a group, a small elite group.
Right.
That's how even the French Revolution started and the Communist Revolution started.
Right.
This elite group and the normal poor fellas, what was the name given to them? I discussed this the day with you, you forgot it.
Oh, you're talking about in Europe, is it? Workers' Party.
Come on, lah. The bourgeoisie and the proletariats.
Oh, right.
See, the bourgeoisie are a group of elite feudal fellows, feudal barons.
Which are
They had all the money.
Are they the predominantly Jew people? Because
No,
they were rich?
All kinds of.
A lot, lah. They're just rich, lah. Right.
So, the poor fellows called the proletariats were virtually half slaves to these fellows. You're going to read bourgeoisie and proletariat.
Okay.
Even the French Revolution was the proletariat fighting against rich bourgeoisie. Even though they disposed the king and all that.
Right.
So this bourgeoisie proletariat The Middle Ages and the later ages, that was a system a few fellows would control. Even in Asia, feudal barons, feudalism.
Okay.
So Marx saw, and he came out, no, the money must belong to the state.
Right.
Because of this pressure from the people, the capitalists, they try to find a middle way. That's how socialism came.
Okay, that totally makes sense.
Socialism,
Right.
you can have private ownership, but money is limited. Which state follows that? Limit individual money.
I don't know, a lot of like states, I don't know, a lot. There's a lot.
Where is that?
Our great state, Kerala.
Huh?
They limit the money. You got
Kerala?
land and all that, they limit. They cannot. You simply buy land.
But socialism is a combination of communism and capitalism. La. But which
Communism is one extreme.
Right.
No private property. All
Right.
belong to state.
Right.
Capitalism is the other extreme. You can have how much money you want and all that. Socialism in between. Control. No extreme disparity of money and poor fellows with a lot of money cannot. So, even lebih kurang lah, like even distribution. Of course, you cannot have everybody having the same amount of money, like supposed to be cooperative state, you know. See, when I went to China, I went to the hospital and all that to see what business. So I met a friend, doctor fella, working in the hospital. She's pay only $200 US.
Oh, she's only getting paid 200.
Doctor, no?
Right.
And the house, one small house with one room. He has to stay with his parents, his wife, his kid and all that. In America, doctor, how?
Right. Very rich.
So this disparity, we call it, caused a lot of problem to the world. And now it's still going on. But if you see the communists now, like Russia, China, and other countries, they are not 100% communist. That means
Right.
the money, you see, like Russia, all the leaders got big, what boat they call it? Ship? Cruise.
So yachts.
Yeah. Lot of money everywhere. That was not what Marx said. So they are changing. Actually, they have corrupted communism. But communism will thrive when there are poor people.
Oh, right.
That's why communism is very hard to penetrate in the countries which are quite socially, economically advanced. Because the situation is different. You don't have a large proletariat. There is something called the middle class has come, which they have, okay, they're living quite good lives, so they are not interested in communism.
They don't care. La. Oh. Okay, well, in this like whole mess, I would say, communism, capitalism, and socialism, and everything, do you think that we will fully go into like just communism and then all of this will disappear, like capitalism and socialism, will this disappear? Or do you think it will constantly be there?
It will be more like a socialist with very fair distribution of resources.
So, do you agree with the Venus Project? The Venus Project.
Why?
Do you agree with them? Because they are.
No. They are giving a very good vision. Good, that is good. But it's not easy to implement in a democratically capitalistic society.
What does it look like in the world? Because a lot of different countries got a lot of different isms.
Yes.
So in the world, what is the majority here? Is it communism? Is it capitalism? What is it? Is it socialism?
The money is mostly by capitalists.
So capitalism is kind of overall.
Individual, I'm talking about individual capitalism. Russia got a lot of money, China got a lot of money.
But you see capitalism thriving the most right now.
People don't, the ordinary fellows don't like all this. So they are moving towards socialism.
Right, the combination of both.
So it is a middle path. So a Venus project is suggesting everything should be shared.
Yeah.
No playing around with money, exchange rates, all this,
Right.
interests, all this. They don't want.
Right.
It's an ideal state law, of course. But for me, we are moving towards that, even though it is not going to be so perfect. But the differences, the rich and the poor, and slowly the gap will close. Whether we are going to use money, this, that, and all that, definitely there's going to be a lot of changes, virtual and all that coming, no more cash, nothing, and all that. And Venus project is one group, experimental, they're trying, and what they have achieved is just trying to do some pilot kind of project and all that, but then not that easy now. Why? Because we are all connected. You can't isolate and say, okay, we will create everything in this village or what.
Yeah, I see that as an example in this place like Oroville. Oroville, right? Like they don't use money. Yeah, they're very based on exchange.
Only one thing. So many other technologies, this, that.
Yeah, that's why. But in Oroville, right, they don't have their own hospital. So if someone gets sick, they go to a hospital outside of Oroville. Yeah.
That's why I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's why I think it's very hard to establish.
By right, the hospital will be free for everybody.
Right.
Here, no. Hospital is a big money-making thing, private hospital. So, we have to first go to human unity first. Unite the people. When you unite, the resource of the world will be shared by them properly. And we must have a sovereign authority to distribute these resources.
But that is also, I would say, a flaw in the system. If you have people whose interest is, we can't really tell, because different countries have different resources, and then we don't know
That's why
who
I
needs
say,
what more, I would say.
When you have a world government and world sovereignty, they have power over all the states and resources. They can direct the distribution of resources.
Will it combine with one world government's
Say again?
vision? One world government vision then?
Yeah. See, that's why I told last time, we are evolving from what? An individual, I'm talking about government and politics, individual, the first government is family. It's also like a government, there is an authority, everything is
Yeah, but
After family is what?
society.
Tribes.
Right.
So we have tribal government. After tribal government, many tribes, city-state and nation. like Malaysia, nation, so many groups. After nation,
The world.